Hey everyone, and welcome to a special episode of An Archaeologist Plays Minecraft. My name is Daskalos, and I'm a professional archaeologist and certified interpretive guide. Now, you may be wondering why there are two copies of the ruins, as they were excavated, behind me. And that's because we're going to do two drastically different things to them. One of my major issues with excavating the trail ruins in Minecraft is that they're buried so deep. Now, I'm an archaeologist in the American Southwest. Ruins like this wouldn't be buried as deep as these ruins may suggest. Now, I know there are some that were buried pretty deep, but those are pretty rare. And the majority of the ruins are usually shallow and dispersed. So I'm going to do, basically with this set of ruins here, I'm going to make them look like what I would expect to see in the real world if I stumbled across them during survey. Now, along the way, I'll discuss a little bit of what I'm going to do and my thought process with how I'm taking these down. And in the next episode, we'll get to that set of ruins where we'll do something completely different. So if you're ready, I'm ready. And yeah, let's get into it. Now, as you can tell, I'm in creative mode simply because that's the easier thing to do. And let's start with this. Well, first off, let's start with the road. Now, the road, generally speaking, would probably be just fine. I mean, it's just cobblestone and stone brick and stuff like that. Though there might be a little bit of dispersal, generally speaking, it'd probably be fine. These cavities I've decided were put in from, the birch, like how I had in the example when I excavated. So I'm going to just leave those cavities there. The rest of the road we're pretty much not going to touch for the most part. We might re-examine that at the end, but let's start with this building here, the workshop, the armory. Mud brick, unfortunately, would completely melt over the years. So we're actually going to get rid of a bunch of this mud brick. But don't worry, it's not really going anywhere. It's going to become regular mud, probably packed mud, and it's going to be sort of piled up in the corners here, or in the, basically where the walls meet the ground. So let me go ahead and take packed mud and this, just in case I need it. And what we're going to do is we are going to take out all of this mud, the mud brick and the packed mud. All right, here we go.
A few minutes later.
Oh, much better. Now I can see a lot better. The shaders were on and things were, kind of weird. So that chunk is taken down. These walls, oops, there we go. These walls are going to kind of melt and sort of spread out along here. So let's take some of the packed mud and we're going to replace that. Okay, now you may notice that I've got slabs here, and I'm going to use the slabs to show a little bit of dispersal of this mud brick. They don't have packed mud slabs or packed mud stairs. If they had packed mud stairs, that's what would be right here. Actually, let's see here. Oh, there we go. What would... Okay, so there's that. There we go. Yeah, that actually looks pretty good. So yeah, this sort of melted, dispersed thing. So there, whoops, there you go. You can kind of see how it sort of just melts and expands. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's done. Now what we need to do is we need to bring these terracotta pieces down. And we're going to destroy some of the stuff in here as well, like these pots. That's not going to get destroyed because that's stone. The candles can go. These probably won't get destroyed as well. I wish I could like lay it down, but we're going to put it, whoops, here, like it fell off of that. All right. Iron bars are going to fall down. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this terracotta and bring it straight down. So what I'm going to do is pretty simple. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to copy that because that's both colors of terracotta, right? Is that all of it? Yeah, that's all of it. And we're just going to bring it straight down. Okay, so all of the red has been brought straight down like the roof had collapsed. Now for the purple terracotta, it's also going to collapse, but it'll collapse and sort of roll around. So some of these are a lot easier, like this one will come straight down, but some, when it comes straight down, may end up hitting others and have to sort of move around. But anyways, we'll just jump right into it. Okay, so there you have it. The first building there would look probably something like that. A little bit more dispersed than I would like, but about like that. But we wouldn't find it exactly like this. Oh no, 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 no. See, dirt and grass would have moved in and covered it up a little bit. So you'd have things like this. What the hell? Weird. So there you go. That's kind of what we would see. We would see little things poking out that might suggest something is there, like mud or some of the terracotta poking out. Things like that, but generally speaking, it'd look a little like that. Now, it looks a little bit too much like the rest of the hill. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some coarse dirt into this to sort of break up the grass, because grass isn't going to grow over the whole thing just because, you know, it's cultural. So not only that, but you can expect to see some grass. So yeah, this is what the first building would look like if we came across it. There'd be little things that suggest that it was here, like terracotta, maybe some of the metal would be poking out, but it would be heavily overgrown and a lot of dirt would have sort of blown in and completely covered it up. All right, so we're basically going to do that with a lot of the other buildings. I'm not going to touch this one just yet. I'm actually going to just do what I did to that one with the rest of these buildings, and then we'll get to some of the special cases. So we're going to do a quick little time lapse of me doing all that with the rest of the buildings. What I called Locus B, which is directly above my head there behind me, I think it might actually be the top of this tower. But we're going to assume that it's not, or we're going to assume that it fell early in the abandonment of these ruins, and so we're going to do the same thing like we did to that one, but to that one. Anyways, I'm babbling. Let's go ahead and do it. Okay, now brick is a little different. Brick will deteriorate, but this is, you know, red brick. This is like almost like modern brick or relatively modern brick. So this stuff will fall, but it'll just sort of disperse. Unlike the mud, which melts and sort of disperses a little bit, each one of these blocks is still gonna kind of be here. So I'm just gonna kind of spread this out just a tiny, tiny bit. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so some of the buildings have already been taken down. That one with the basement we're going to save for a little bit later. The one I'm underneath is going to be a little different because it's up against the tower. The tower and this building here share kind of a wall right there about where my head is at. And it's going to actually stick up above the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this purple topped building down, and I'm going to start taking the tower down, but you'll notice that the wall in between them is going to be a lot higher and it'll stick out. And I'll just show you. Let's just get into it. Okay, so what you're seeing pretty much the tower has collapsed in on itself and down, filling in some of these gaps. Some dirt would have already drifted in there and sort of filled some of these. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build up the hill up to the walls, but the walls are still going to be kind of exposed because sometimes that happens too. Really good example, the national park that's near my house, or near where I live, I should say. It was 3 stories tall. The ruins were 3 stories tall, possibly 4, and the tops of the walls were sticking out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, as you can see here, sort of start moving some dirt in. And we're actually going to leave that empty. There we go. And we're going to just sort of bury this. Okay, so because I had a basement, it would have a pretty deep depression. Actually, probably be deeper than that. Let me go down here and fix this. When you have a depression like this, especially when there's something underneath that's some sort of structure, water will pool in here and it won't really drain too well. So you're going to have kind of a wet area. And because of that, you're going to have things like this, where you have a whole bunch of trees taking full advantage of all of the water. So this is what the ruins would look like if I were to come across them out in the field on survey. You'd see some things popping out, maybe some terracotta, some building material sticking out, maybe some metal, some walls sticking up and over the hill there. And generally speaking, it would be sort of a dispersed bunch of stuff all over the place. So I'm going to sort of show you some stuff. We're going to do some flybys and some unglamorous shots of this, and yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit more. So the road is going along here, though more than likely more of the road would be seen. So let's clear some of this out here. So you can still see some of the road going through here. And you have some of the walls sticking up from the tower, and a little bit of the tower there too. The top of it is underneath this mound, and the rest, oh, I forgot to cover up that road. I'll cover up that road here in a second. But you got a couple of these buildings here. You can tell that they're different buildings because you got the flesh colored, the purple, the gray, and the red. You kind of see there's some difference between them. But generally speaking, it's just sort of a big mound over that. This one, because it was a smaller building, it's a little bit lower down than the rest of them. It was just sort of like a ramada. And so, yeah, that would have collapsed in. Some of it's still exposed. That one, you can't really see what's going on because of the depression, or because I should say the depression causes those trees to grow. And so you really wouldn't see that. And then you'd have this building here. And then along this side, of course, the little stalls would be kind of visible, not really. But that's pretty much what you would expect. Now I'm going to cover up this road, and we're going to do some unglamour shots. I didn't do that. Huh. Okay.